Step 7. We humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. Having decided we want God, as we understood Him, to relieve us of the useless or destructive aspects of our personalities, we have arrived at the 7th step. We have all spent much of our lives being anything but humble. We have been humiliated by many of the things that happened to us while using, but most of us avoided true humility until we worked the first step. Then again, in the 3rd step, we asked God to direct our will and our lives. Now, in the 7th step, we humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings. The key to this step is an understanding of the humility. Humility is a part of staying clean, as food and water are to staying alive. As we struggled along in our addiction, we devoted our energy towards satisfying our material needs. We always had to have a satisfaction of our basic desires, such as power and prestige. We never thought of spiritual growth or asking a higher power for direction. Drugs were our higher power. We couldn't handle the trials and tribulations of life all by ourselves. It wasn't until we made a real mess of our lives that we realized that we couldn't do it alone. By admitting that we achieved our first glimpse of humility. If the defects we have discovered are real and we have a chance to be rid of them, we would surely experience a sense of well-being when we rid ourselves of them. Some will want to get on their knees for this step. Some will be very quiet or put forth a great mental effort to show intense willingness. The word humble applies because we approach this power greater than ourselves to ask for the most wondrous gift of the program, the freedom to live without the limitations of our past ways. However we want to handle it, we go all the way. Think of what we have to lose. As soon as we feel ourselves willing, we should go ahead and ask God to remove our shortcomings. When we were using, our spiritual and emotional growth came to a halt. We did not mature and grow like a normal person. Now that we are clean, there are many situations in our daily lives that are difficult to understand. By practicing the virtue of humility and asking for help, we can get through even the toughest times. I can't, we can. It is a sign of growth. We have to realize that people can give us direction and that our way of thinking is not the only way. We must puncture our egos and realize that we have much more work to do. When someone points out a shortcoming, our first reaction is one of defensiveness. If we truly want to grow, we will take a good look at what is pointed out. We must realize we are not perfect and there are things we must change. We have noticed that humility plays a big part in this program and our new way of life. We take our inventory, we become ready to let God remove our shortcomings. This is our road to spiritual growth, to change our character, day by day, to gradually, carefully and simply pull ourselves out of the isolation and loneliness of addiction into this mainstream of useful fellowship. This comes not from wishing, but from action and prayer. The main objective of Step 7 is to get out of ourselves and strive for achieving the will of our higher power. Our will didn't work. If we are careless and fail to grasp the spiritual meaning of this step, it will seem an unbearable chore, impossible to complete and unlikely to do anything but stir up old troubles. Like all the steps, the point of this one is freedom. None of these steps work by magic. They work when they are lived. We are trying to achieve adequacy, not perfection, for perfection is a divine quality.